Hi, my name is Marika Abnathy, and today I will be sharing with you a persuasive speech on does romantic movies and books glorify an unrealistic idea of love and lead to heartbreak. Love is a complex topic, glorified by people all over the world. Whether we see it or not, most romantic movies and books have some element of delusion. The longer we immerse ourselves into the media, the longer we have that negative and false impact in our lives. Love we see in movies can lead to heartbreak by showing unrealistic scenes and feelings and actions portrayed in them. First, what is love? And what is it like to be in it? Well, according to Persuasive, love is when you know you're there for someone, and you know when they're there for you. Just the purest love is when you know that person is there for you through thick and thin. When you have the most worst day, they're there for you. If you're looking your worst, they're there for you. They love you, so they're gonna put everything, not everything, but most things aside to be there with you. But sometimes movies portray that they don't have to be there for you, and it's not important to be there for you. When it's convenient for them, they're there for you. But that's not love, and that's a false reading. Some people see that as, oh, that's normal. It's in the movies. When I'm going through my tough times, they're not always going to be there. But with love, when you're having your tough times, your person should really be there for you, or it's not really love. Pure love. Second, to be in love is to make sacrifices for that person and to be real with that person. You have to make sacrifices in a relationship, whether it be sacrifices of a job to be there for them, sacrifices of some family members when they're not compatible with your partner. It's those sacrifices that really put yourself on that pedestal to your loved one. Because if you're willing to make those sacrifices, you're willing to do anything for your person. And for the sacrifices and to be real, you have to be real in a relationship. You have to communicate. You can't just close yourself off. In movies, it's seen as talking is not a big thing. It's just communication is just not a huge thing in movies. It's just a puppy love, first sight type of love, instead of the pure art of talking to your person about what's bothering you and being real with them. But instead in movies, it's a false characteristics that they give off, and that's what the other person wants. And instead of being real with them, you give them a false look of yourself to them, which movies often like to portray for some odd reason, seeing as I can't love you for the real you. And third, being in love includes expressions of affection and often tenderness and compassion that's shown by one another. These expressions of love, just not even just taking out on dates like in movies, lots of dates. That's their expression of love, is dates, or bringing you flowers to the top of your balcony, just the most unrealistic thing. But more expressions as more realistic, as just being there for them. Those type of affectionate things, laying with each other and just telling each other that you love them, is just the most purest way of being in love and what it's like to be in love. And the compassion that's shown to one another is not always seen. And then secondly, how movies and books show the unrealistic idea of love. Movies and books idealize great expectations of intimacy. Sometimes it's just sexual desires in movies instead of the actual realism of love. And it's not always like that. And somehow the characters fall in love at first sight. I understand that a lot of people that have seen movies just think as soon as you see them, it's them. Like The Wedding Planner, if anybody has seen that movie. The woman was almost struck by a car and got saved by a doctor, and as soon as they saw each other, they knew they loved each other. Well, that may be a thing that people really want because of movies, but it's not always like that. Sometimes you meet the love of your life out of the weirdest circumstances. And thirdly, researchers believe that the influence of Hollywood films is implanting a sense of perfect relationship within society and providing unrealistic expectations about romance. Results show that fans of films such as The Wedding Planner and While You Were Sleeping show that they fail to communicate with their partners efficiently. Like I was saying, it's just the communication is just not a thing. It's more of sex and more of just gestures instead of the art of communicating. And the idea of love at first sight and love conquers all from watching these movies encourages the unrealistic expectations. You can't always meet the love of your life off of first sight. You may go into a date and they're the weirdest people you've ever met, good or bad. But sometimes love can't conquer all. In conclusion, love we see in movies and in books can lead to heartbreak by them showing an unrealistic scene of feelings and actions portrayed in them, by how Hollywood films implement a sense of perfect relationships within society and providing an unreal expectation about romance, as well as people not truly knowing the definition of love and what it's like to be in it. Thank you so much for watching and listening to me.